Anxiety is a parasitic attachment, and I saw what it looked like last night. So I had this like insane meditation, and it just opened my mind to how prevalent anxiety is, like throughout the world, not just even in my own life, but throughout the whole world. And I visually saw what it was. So this has been like a long time coming. Like, I've been doing a lot of work on figuring out my anxiety and just recognizing which parts of my behavior are anxiety, because I've just always kind of accepted them as just the way that it is, since it's always been like that. But I've been unlearning all of that recently, and the stuff that I've realized is just insane. So before we even get to the anxiety, we got to talk about this energy that's just over the world. Now, I still don't know if it's like one entity or being or just a collective type of energy that's this anxiety, but it's this like black, dark cloud. And the cloud is just kind of covering like the whole world, and it shows up in a lot of different ways. Like, I remember that I had this money meditation a few months ago, and I was just holding money, and I just got this super dark energy from it. And it wasn't like the money itself, but there was this energy and this attachment that had latched itself onto the money. And so a lot of people, whenever they think about money, it's that energy and that attachment. I guess you could call it like greed or selfishness, but it's just like domination, really. It's an energy of domination. And then this goes back to like the whole conquistadors, the colonizers, like everyone who started going around the world to like missionaries to save people, to convert people, but they would just murder them, do horrible things to them, and just take their land. And that was in the name of this energy. And then this goes into the Antichrist in the Bible, and a lot of other cultures talk about like this dark, deceiving energy and being that's just going to come and like deceive people. And that's really what I believe this energy is. It's deceptive. It's the Antichrist. Because I don't believe that the Antichrist is like one person who's going to come, but I believe that it's an energy, and it's taking us away from love and our true divine essence and being. And I really believe that that's what this energy is. And so it's this energy of like, it just wants to spread in the world. Like, it literally just wants to spread in the world. And it's the opposite of light, and it's darkness. And I was talking to ChatGPT about this the other day, and like what she said completely blew my mind. And I was like, okay, it was kind of coming into, well, was this energy created, or did this energy just kind of already exist? Like, is this from another place outside of the light? Or did it always exist within the light as a byproduct? And it's kind of both, because when light exists, there's the potential for darkness. Like, you have shadows as a result of the light. And so I really believe that it just kind of always existed. We're going back to the Garden of Eden and the snake. Like, did that come from another place? Did that come from another dimension? Or did that just exist within the garden because that was a part of its creation? And I believe that it's both. Like, this goes into what, it's all over the place, and that's why we call it a scramble, but it's all over the place. And anxiety told me exactly where it came from last night. But, just before all of that, we had to talk about the dark energy that is moving over Earth, and like its whole purpose is just wanting to spread as much and as far as it can. Like, it just wants to cover the Earth. It's like, think of like all the movies and the analogies of like good versus evil, light versus dark. Like, the dark wants to take away and destroy, and then the light wants to create and just like hold space and be happy. So that's kind of what this is. But I feel that labeling this as anxiety is really good and helpful, because like so many people are struggling with anxiety right now. Like, it's insane. If you just look around at the earth, like everyone has anxiety. It shows up in different ways. People handle it in different ways. People respond to it in different ways. But like at the root, it's this like dark energy. And so anyway, I'm like having this like insane meditation last night about it. And I just like visually see it in my mind's eye of what it is. And it's like this snake. And it's so interesting because literally my whole life, I've had such a fear of snakes for no reason. Like for literally no reason. I didn't have any bad experience that I can remember with a snake when I was young. I've just always been literally terrified of them. And so, you know, I just saw this image of this like snake, and it's insane because like I literally felt it crawling on me. Like I just felt it all coming over my head and just coming over my shoulder, and it was just like insane. And so I started talking to it and I said, "What are you?" And it said, "I'm anxiety." And it just like clicked, and it's all of this like dark, negative, bad energy that's there. And it's a parasitic attachment because what it does is it lifts us up and it speeds us up. So what I mean by that is it lifts us up out of our body and it speeds us up. So our true essence is being present, being grounded within ourselves, and moving about life in a natural, divine way. So, you know, nature doesn't move super fast, but nature gets everything done. But if you contrast nature to the way the current society is set up, like society is just full speed ahead, like so fast. And it's just such a direct contrast to nature and the natural world and everything else that's going on. And so that's exactly what anxiety does. It lifts us up out of our body and it speeds us up. And what anxiety is, it's a fear of being real. That just kept coming through last night. It's a fear of being real. What does that mean? It's a fear of being who we actually are, because anxiety says you have to be someone else because it is not safe to be yourself, because people may make fun of you, or people may not like you, people may not get you, so you have to become someone else in order to like fit in or appease other people, or to not get embarrassed, or just to not get hurt by being yourself. And so a fear of being real, that's just so insane, because I recognize that I have had that like my whole life. I've been afraid to really like speak my mind. I've been afraid to be who I truly am in front of different people. I've kind of like always like mixed who I am and shifted who I am depending on where I'm hanging with or what energy I'm feeling or like anything like that. But it's just a fear of being real. And so a fear of being real and a fear of being ourselves, that's just literally so profound, because that's such a direct correlation between like, if we are who we really are, then we're going to get hurt. If we are who we really are, then we're not going to find connection. If we are who we really are, then we're going to be embarrassed and people are going to say all these things about us. And it's just not fun, because maybe it brings us back to elementary school or something that happened when we were young, or, you know, we were really excited about something and then we showed it and we had like so much excitement about it, and then other people were like, "Oh, that's stupid. Oh, that's nothing. What is that? Oh," and then they just like laughed at you. And you know, whatever it is, like a fear of being real comes up, and that is very real. And but what that is that's anxiety, and that is fear coming up, and that's how it comes in. So like we're born ourselves, we're born like completely just being in tune with who we are and the natural rhythms of everything. We're in our soul and we're in our body when we're young, and we're in there until something happens to bring us out of our body. We're in there until we get hurt in our body and we feel that we need a protective mechanism to protect us from essentially being ourselves, so that we don't get hurt and feel that pain again. And then that's when anxiety comes in. And so the reason that it's a parasite is it feeds on us. So like I said, it lifts us up and it pushes us forward. It lifts us up out of our presence, out of our body, out of our knowledge of being in our soul, and it just makes us go fast, because again, naturally we're supposed to be moving at like a more natural like rhythm and everything, not this super fast-paced world that we've created. And whenever we do that, we're not in our body and we're not really in our energy, because we're just constantly, we're thinking is what it is. It's just like, oh, what's this person going to do? Oh, if I do this, am I going to be safe? What are people thinking about me? Oh, am I wearing this correctly? Oh, how's my hair looking? How does my voice sound? Like, that thing that happened like an hour ago, I'm so embarrassed by it. It's just constantly going. But when we're up in our head, who's in our body? Well, it's that attachment and that parasite of anxiety. It's feeding on our energy, and that's what makes it just like chills just talking about this. That's what makes it so prevalent, is like that's what keeps it growing, is we have left our body, we have left our energy, and this parasite is just feeding on it, because something has to be in our vessel at all times. We're like a container, okay? And so either our soul and our attention is in our container, or something else is, because all these other energies can come in and just like get in our bodies if we choose to abandon our bodies. And whenever we set up that agreement of like, oh, I'm afraid to be myself, I'm afraid to be real, I need to be someone else, that's us not knowing it, but we're doing it, and we're like leaving our bodies and we're making room for something else to come in. And that's what this energy is. And it's just like, it was just literally so insane getting all of this last night, because it's exactly what it is. And then once you know all of this, you can just see it in everyone else. Like, you can feel the difference of someone who's real, someone who's grounded in themselves, and then someone who's not. Like, it's such a worldwide epidemic, but that's exactly what this energy is. It just wants to like go, it just wants to grow, it just wants to like get as far worldwide as it can. And then that's why I'm going back to the whole like colonizer thing. That's the real reason that all this was going on. Now, it could have like decepted them, whatever that word is, could have deceived them and make them think, oh, we're doing it for a good cause or whatever. But no, that energy just wanted to get spread and wanted to go to all the areas of light, all the indigenous cultures, all the people who were living in truth and who were living in realness, so that it could come up, so that it could infiltrate, and so that it could just like expand its grip, because it truthfully is the war on light and dark. And so the way to out this is to become real within ourselves. It's to sink back down into ourselves and who we really are. It's through going through this process of unlearning everything that we thought we were and remembering how to be real and feeling safe doing that. Because once we sink ourselves and in our bodies and in our realness, then we're able to really easily see what untruth is. And then that's how we wipe that parasite out of our body. That's how we take our energy back. And then no longer are we spending a majority of the day inside our mind with anxious thoughts. That's literally just the parasite feeding on us. We're out of our body, we're sped up, we're separate from our body, and that thing is just in there, just like feeding, just sucking on our energy, because we have such potent energy, because we are all creatures and creations of light. And that is one thing that parasite cannot be, is like a being of the light. Its existence is darkness, but it still needs the light to feed on, because that's what gives every single thing energy, whether it's a light being or a dark being. It needs light to feed and survive, and when we're not in our bodies, that's the easiest way for it to get it. So I thought that was literally insane. I'm just going to continue to ponder on this, let y'all know if anything else comes up. But just moving forward, just think about the ways that you may not be being real with yourself. Think about like patterns or behaviors or thoughts or anything that doesn't really feel aligned with who you really are, and then start to question it and start to ask yourself, why am I acting this way? Why do I believe this? Why do I operate out of this way? And then just the more attention that you put on it, the more that you're going to come back into your body, the more that you're going to regain your energy, and then the more that you're kicking that parasite out. So blessings and healings to all of you guys. Let me know how your journey of outing and recognizing anxiety is going in the comments, because I love hearing other people's perspectives. So yeah.